Welcome, my friends. Today's episode and guide here all about the ancient Hollyberry Cookie Aegis. Super excited about today's gear guide. That is the toppings, the biscuits, and the tarts. We're going to give you everything that you need to know to be successful here with this particular cookie. Thank you for tuning in. As always, questions, comments along the way, please let me know. All right, let's get into it here with Hollyberry Cookie Aegis. First, this is a defense cookie, a front cookie, and has the element type steel. So both the steel and awakening here are very new for Hollyberry in the latest and greatest updates. Super awesome. We were able to just get this as a free-to-play player, which is so much fun. We have those guides available too on the channel, and they've updated this breakout so you can see between the two, which is pretty awesome. This cookie has been around for a little while. That's why mine is here. I've actually kept it at level 80 specifically. So we will make sure to level that up for us here today. Regardless, though, these are my current statistics from the last build and some of the builds that we've had before. However, we're going to give it a refresh here for you today. The biggest thing, though, with Hollyberry is this right here, the moveset, Shield of Conviction, 13 seconds. Sound the charge. Hollyberry Cookie charges forward with her Shield of Conviction. While her Shield of Conviction is active, she will absorb a portion of the damage allies take, excluding periodic and indirect damage. Afterwards, she will buff ally cookies, reducing incoming crit damage, and make them resistant to damage debuffs. Hollyberry Cookie will gain the Seed of Life buff depending on the amount of damage received during Shield of Conviction. Once she gains enough Seed of Life stacks, it will bloom into Berry of Life. Steel-bound Passion will activate depending on the amount of damage received during Shield of Conviction or after a certain period of time. Steel-bound Guardian will activate once Hollyberry Cookie has gained enough stacks of Steel-bound Passion or when her HP drops below a certain level. Perfect. Entering Steel-bound Guardian state while reset, Hollyberry Cookie's cooldown, restore HP, and enhance Shield of Conviction. Her final hit will be buffed depending on the damage received during Shield of Conviction. The cooldown for Hollyberry Cookie's first skill activation is reduced, and while she is using her skills, she will briefly become resistant to interrupting effects. So very interesting there. Hollyberry's shield right here, single hit damage at 510% of attack, deals up to 3 hits. Extra damage for targets immune to stun, 400% of attack, stun at 2%. Extra damage resist bypass for targets immune to stun, 50%. So targets are immune to stun are going to get absolutely annihilated. Final hit damage are 58% of max HP and ignores 40% of damage resist. We got Seed of Berry. Seed of Life gains 1 stack for each 0.3% of Hollyberry Cookie's HP at the start of battle, lost during Shield of Conviction's bloom. Shield of Conviction blooms into Berry of Life at 20 stacks. Berry of Life damages plus 20% for 10 seconds, restores 1.5% max HP every 1 second. Pretty wild right there. Shield of Conviction active for 13 seconds. Damage focus absorbs 45% of damage received by allies. Damage dampening minus 35% to the final amount of damage received, and crit damage minus 35% of 13 seconds stacks up to ×1. Damage debuff resists 35% for 13 seconds, stacks up to 1 time. So 13 seconds, cooldowns 13 seconds. Steelbound Passion. Steelbound Passion gains 1 stack every 1 second and gains 1 stack for every 5% of Hollyberry Cookie's HP as the start of battle lost during Shield of Conviction. Steelbound Guardian is activated when gaining ×20 Steelbound Passion stacks or HP dropping below 25%. Steelbound Guardian, invulnerability for the duration, max HP plus 40% and cooldown reset. Shield of Conviction damage focus and damage dampening maintain damage focus plus 60%, damage dampening plus 50%, extra final hit damage 155% of Hollyberry Cookie's HP lost during Shield of Conviction, capped at 40% of max HP. Damage resist bypass at 40%. Passive debuff resist 30%, max HP plus 25, and damage resist at 35. There's actually a very lot of interesting things in this one. I've seen a lot of different points of views in terms of building on this. Again, we got a special build here regardless. And if you enjoy, make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that button. Obviously, I appreciate it. All right. So a couple things here, though. We have a 13-second cooldown. We got stacks on attack. We got lots of additional hit against stun. We got 58% of max HP on the final hit damage. So it scales, but it's stuck at 58. So if our HP goes up, obviously that's more damage. You got ignores 40% of damage resist. So you don't necessarily need damage resist bypass. We also got the Seed of Life here, which gains stacks for minus 0.3% of Cookie's HP at the start of the battle lost. So if it's not true value and it's a percentage based value, you actually would want lower HP from that perspective. So it is slightly counterintuitive in terms of making these things kind of click and hit. And then you got active for 13 seconds when the shield is active. So you could want the cooldown to be more than 13, but essentially it's the same. So you can activate it, let the cooldown go, and then activate it again. So it's going to stay. It doesn't stack. Steelbound Passion there, again, gains 1 stack for every 1 second and gains 1 stack for every 5% of Hollyberry Cookie's HP at the start of battle lost during Shielded Conviction. And then Steelbound Guardian, again, below 25%. So invulnerability for the duration, max HP plus 40%. So you're getting a lot of really, really interesting things here. And again, extra final hit damage, 155% of Hollyberry Cookie's HP lost during Shield of Conviction. So capped at 40% of max HP. So whatever you get it at, it's still capped at 40%. So if you do lift the HP side, that's going to give you a bigger hit because that 40% is still going to be higher. So very, very interesting from those perspectives. So there's a lot of different ways that you can play around with this. Actually trying to be a weaker Hollyberry and get some of these things to move quickly could be beneficial, or having a ton of health could also be very beneficial. So pretty interesting ways to kind of think about that, right? And then again, we got a lot of damage resist regardless here on this cookie, and you're absorbing everyone else's damage. So there's a couple ways that we can break this thing down. So in terms of this cookie, let's go ahead, let's max this out because we want to get to that full damage. We want to see what's going on here. And then additionally here, we can upgrade. Let's max it. There we go. Single hit damage going up on that final hit. See, it's steel as well, which is pretty interesting. Okay, so what does that mean in terms of our biscuits? There's a couple things here. Certainly, we could absolutely positively put a steel biscuit here on Hollyberry. Getting that steel damage is awesome. Damage resist bypass this is the only place you can get it. You could consider it for PvP. However, though, that might not be the right way depending on what your team is built, but that steel damage is really nice. So if you do want an attack forward Hollyberry, you can absolutely go that route. Otherwise, things that will be very important. So again, these two are one-offs here. Other things that are very important. If you want to be a more attack forward Hollyberry, you can absolutely be on more attack. So things like the beast raids, things like the events that we have going on right now, you might want to be on way more attack, or roly-poly as an example, where it's not dealing a lot of damage. So your final hit is not going to lose a ton of HP. So you want to be on attack. So that's one way to think about it. The other way to think about it is that HP piece, like I said, make it really, really big and get lots of hits in and lots of survivability because you got a ton of HP, and then you're going to do massive damage. So those are a couple ways to think about it. You can certainly put damage resist on there as well if you want to, and you could put in some of that cooldown. Again, I think prioritizing HP is going to be super, super helpful. The steel damage is also going to be helpful, and then that attack are probably going to be the big three, depending on where you're at. So for me, I got some HP on here. We got some damage resist. We got crit percent. Certainly this could be optimized a little bit more, and I probably will optimize it with the steel damage or the roly-poly, those things too here that you can check out. Let's see if we got anything else in there. Stick with that for now. So that's kind of the core concepts that you want to understand, particularly for this. When in doubt, you can absolutely just go HP. That could be very, very rewarding. All right, so now, my friends, and again, it's gonna be relative to where your cookie is particularly at. Now, in terms of our toppings, a couple things. We do have these specialty toppings. That's right. So if you're not familiar with this yet, there are resonant toppings that are usable. I think I have a couple of them. Let's see if we have them. Passion right here. You will be able to use them right here for Ancient Hollyberry Cookie and the rest of the team. So those could be some good ideas for you to use these. I'm gonna leave them for now. And then attack, solid almond, cooldown. You only have 5 kinds here. So you got passionate caramel, you got passionate apple jelly, you got solid almond, you got chocolate, and you got attack. I most likely would probably go on these 5 right there for attack, or on the solid almond because when we look at the overlap here, these ones right there. Now, the other one that players might have forgotten about right here, draconic toppings. Look at that. Hollyberry also can get draconic toppings. And once again, here you got the same things. So you can take advantage of those as well. And you can absolutely, positively, and should use them on Hollyberry. So I'm showing it this way because a lot of times I get, what do I put on it instead? Now, there is something else here that you could try totally differently. We still have the HP toppings. You could absolutely just load up on HP here if you really, really wanted to. That is an idea, and that is a way that you can make this cookie just massive, by the way. However, though, what we're going to do is we're going to go on attack for now, because that's what I like. So we're going to stay on attack. And a couple things here when it comes to this in particular. And again, the substats being on more HP, more attack, and then damage resist or that cooldown would be very, very nice. Now, again, I don't think you need cooldown. We'll go for the run. And then we can always make tweaks to those things. But we got some damage resist here. We got damage resist HP. Now, remember, the damage resist and the HP are going to kind of work against each other. But you want to make sure that you can survive. And the longer that Hollyberry survives, the longer, regardless, you're going to get a lot of these other things. And then on your Syrian Raspberry Tart set, you could absolutely throw that in here. Now, if we get 2 pieces, you can get 4. That's 6 is 12. You can split this between health if you wanted to as well, and cooldown depending on where your cookie's at. So we're going to go with attack. In terms of the way that we're set up, we gave you some alternative ideas. If you want to go full-blown health all the way across, you can absolutely do that. That's going to be one massive healthy Hollyberry for sure. So that is the cookie. Those are the biscuits. Those are the toppings. Those are the tarts. We also talked about the resonant, the skill set, the move set, all that stuff. Now it's time for us to put this cookie into action. And some of the things that players always ask me questions about is, why is my cookie so powerful? Well, one of the reasons why is I have a ton of research and a ton of guild stuff. If you're looking for guilds, the Discord server is great to go find one. It's super active, so thank you to everyone there. And then additionally, as always, it's a great time to like and subscribe for content like this. Let's go find that amazing Hollyberry. The other thing that's nice about Hollyberry here, you got that steel type cookie damage resist bypass, up, cap, steel type damage right there, max HP, steel forge triggered when steel type cookies HP drops below 30%, healing for self, and Hollyberry cookie. Awesome in those steel teams. All right, so let's go ahead. We'll go for the run so you can see exactly what this is going to look like, how it's going to work as well. Here we go. Hollyberry cookie going at it. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Now you can see right there, these are the stacks, and you can see this cooldown. Look at that. Just constant right there. So you don't have to worry. You can see the shield goes away like that, and now it's back. Look at that. This thing just rips. Ridiculous. Right? On attack. So a couple of things there to think about in terms of your team, in terms of this particular cookie, where you reside. My cooldown was already below 13 seconds because I had some already. I would definitely focus on attack and HP. About it. All right. Very, very easy in terms of prioritization, and additionally that steel damage, because Hollyberry is going to rock from that perspective. With that, my friends, a true friendship is forged in times of trouble. Maybe I'll be the new voice actor. We'll see. Regardless, with that, thank you for tuning in today. I hope you had fun. As always, if you still got a question, if you got a comment, do let me know. I'd love to hear from you, and we'd love to see you in our amazing community and Discord server. Lots of fun all the time. Literally. With that, thank you for tuning in today. I appreciate your support. Thank you for the likes and the subs as we continue to grow such an amazing community here. As always, don't forget to hit that button. I truly appreciate it. Also, thank you to all of our members. Memberships are available to you. We got swag and merch, all kinds of other great ways to interact. So thank you for that additional support. With that, enjoy your Hollyberry cookie here, my friends. Until next time, keep on running.